Joe Manchin made it abundantly clear that he is not in favor of Medicare expansion. Joe Manchin has not been in favor of allowing for Medicare to negotiate drug prices directly with pharmaceutical companies. Now we're hearing, though, that the House has managed to include a provision in the reconciliation bill that they plan on voting for that includes kind of like a half measure, if you want to be generous and call it that. So the New York Times reporting today that the prescription drug deal is limited. Starting in 2023, negotiations could begin on what Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon called the most expensive drugs, treatments for cancer and rheumatoid arthritis, as well as anticoagulants. Sorry, I have a hard time pronouncing that word. Now, most drugs would still be granted patent exclusivity for 9 years before negotiations could start, and more advanced drugs called biologics would be protected for 12 years. So, Cenk, it's again, if you want to call it a half measure, I guess you could, but not really. I mean, this isn't the same thing as allowing for Medicare to negotiate all drug prices directly with pharmaceutical companies. The final deal includes a $2,000 annual cap on out-of-pocket expenditures for older Americans facing catastrophic health issues, a strict $35 monthly cap on insulin expenses, and automatic rebates on drugs whose prices rise faster than inflation. Now, again, it really depends on whether or not the reconciliation bill ends up passing in the Senate. But what are your thoughts on this pared back version of the drug negotiation provision?
I think it's a joke. I don't understand. My understanding right now is reporting from Bloomberg is that we're going to get to negotiate 10 drug prices, 10, just on 10 drugs. And that starts in the year 2025. Oh, wow. I didn't know you guys were going to be this generous. I thought maybe it was going to be 7 or 6 drugs we're going to negotiate. There are thousands of drugs. This is a joke. It's all it is a face-saving gesture, so you're not humiliated, and you could pretend there was a compromise. But in reality, when you realize how pathetic it is, it's actually more embarrassing. And I think they can get all the way up to like 25 or 35 drugs in the year 2028.
Yep.
Okay, wow. 7 years from now, we might be up to a couple of dozen drugs we can negotiate out of the thousands and thousands of drugs there are in America. You know what that is? That's not negotiating drug prices. That's making sure you don't negotiate drug prices while pretending you did. Now, of course, what'll happen next is corporate media will go along with this charade. And they'll say, oh, historic transformation. 2 to 3 drugs will be negotiated 17 years from now.
I mean,
it's a joke, guys.
It is.
Any real reporter would tell you that is a ridiculous, pathetic joke.
Even if that provision wasn't included in the final version of the reconciliation bill, Democrats were still gonna do the PR. They were still gonna pretend like this was a life-changing, unprecedented piece of legislation that would overwhelmingly improve everyone's lives. Now look, there are still some decent provisions in the reconciliation bill, but you gotta look at what Biden had promised, what he campaigned on, and what the final reconciliation bill looks like. No paid family or medical leave. You do not have a permanent child tax credit. That was something that Biden was really trying to celebrate as one of his major agenda items. Also, the penalties for utilities that refuse to switch over to renewable energy. They got rid of the benefits or the rewards that utilities would get if they do in fact move to renewable energies. There's so many important parts of that bill that ended up getting scrapped as a result of the de facto president, Joe Manchin. And Joe Manchin still hasn't committed to voting in favor of the reconciliation bill as it stands today, with all those provisions stripped out, including 2 years of free community college gone. Yeah. So I don't, look, Democratic leadership has been awful. Progressive leadership has been awful. But I also want to just really reiterate the failure of the Biden administration, which insisted on dividing his agenda up into 2 different bills because they wanted Republicans to have a seat at the table. Remember, Republicans were at the White House engaging in these negotiations with Biden. Why? And now they want to turn around and say, no, don't focus on corporate Democrats, focus on Republicans and how they stopped us from doing what we needed to do. No, you don't get to blame Republican obstructionists when in reality, you're the one who invited them. You're the one who brought them, gave them a seat at the table, and you decided to divide this bill up into a corporate handout bill and a social spending bill that honestly looks nothing like it originally did.
It's dispiriting to be a Democrat because your own party is so weak. They're such liars that there's nothing to root for. The one thing you got to give the Republicans is, as loathsome as Donald Trump is he's a lunatic, a narcissist, he's a con man, but he gives them something to root for, right? He seems like he's fighting for them. Like, oh my God, I hate immigrants as much as you do. And they're like, yeah, and they get excited by that, right? For us, the only thing we ask for is policy. We ask for higher wages and better healthcare, et cetera. And they will not give that to us under penalty of law because it's corporate rule. And so Biden has been lying about this from day one. I don't care who it offends. Let all of Washington cry over it. Oh, he's an honorable man. How could you say that? Get out of here, man. He told the donors that nothing would fundamentally change.
Yep.
Negotiating 10 drug prices is nothing fundamentally changing. The number goes up to 30 in the year 2028. Everyone who's rational knows that that is pathetic and that it's a cover job for you allowing corporate donors to get everything they wanted. So now what's more dispiriting, of course, is that the progressives go along. And now they'll be forced to walk the plank and do marketing for this awful so-called compromise as if it was historic transformation. And Representative Jayapal, the so-called leader of the Progressive Caucus, is already doing that on TV.
Yep.
Oh my God, before I saw the details, I saw her on TV bragging about this, about how they got, oh, you wait till you see the lowering the drug prices that we're gonna do. This was it? This was it? Nah. So our jobs tell the truth. These compromises are the worst things I've ever seen. Universal pre-K, the corporations wanted it anyway. The corporations have gotten everything they wanted. Yep. We got a couple of crumbs. And it's the same story every time. So you're not wrong to be disillusioned. And if they want us to lie to you guys, to cheerlead so you'll vote for Democrats, why? Why? So I know on the social issues, but on the economic issues,
barely even the social issues.
Barely, but what did you do? Did you do voting rights? You didn't do voting rights.
Police reform?
You didn't do police reform. Why the hell are we voting for Democrats? And then they'll do the same tired trick. Aren't you guys exhausted by it?
Yes.
What will they do? They'll blame us. They'll blame Young Turks in specific. Oh, you guys lowered the voter turnout. If you just lied to people and told them we negotiated all drug prices when we had a perfect lie going and we were gonna just do 10. It's 10, guys. There's no argument. It's not like there's 12 drugs in the country. There's thousands of drugs in the country. 10 is a joke. So we're not gonna lie. So note progressives in Congress. We're not gonna lie for you. That's not how progressive media works. This is a terrible so-called compromise, and you're gonna walk the plank on it. We all know it, and then you're gonna get mad at us for not defending a terrible deal. Well, here's a news break, do a better deal. Oh, but there's nothing we could do. But we had you run against corporate Democrats because corporate Democrats' excuses, there's nothing we can do. If the progressive excuses, there's nothing we could do, then we elected the wrong people. So, oh, that's so harsh, You're screwing over the voters by pretending this is a real deal. That's actually mean. That's actually not delivering. Us telling people what you're actually doing is not the mean part. The part where you go, screw it, let's do a face-saving gesture. That's the part that sucks for everybody. This is the worst news. I wish I never had to deliver this to you, but that is what just happened. And by the way, after all of that, and after all that humiliation, Manchin and Sinema might vote no anyway. Sad. All right, when we come back, I gotta do one special segment. It's just real quick, guys. It's important for you to know what they could have done, because they always say there was nothing we can do. That's not true. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.